Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios! Yes, you get a Saturday video today! Huzzah! Rejoice, every one of you! And hit that thumbs up button to let me know you like Saturday videos. Alright, anyway, so what we're going to do today is another one that was requested by an author. What was it called? The Supernatural Virus, I think, or something like that? Let's see, Supernatural Virus, where am I? There it is, Supernatural Virus by Princess Binus. A paranormal virus has emerged, slowly turning the infected into assorted supernatural creatures such as ghosts, vampires, werewolves, etc. It was a graveyard smash. Your job is to convert all of the compatible humans into supernatural beings. Note, this scenario is still being tweaked. Please leave a PM if you know how to fix any of the issues. Alright, let's give this one a shot. It's a virus type. I'm going to stick up with my standard opening because it seems to work pretty well. Rename it to Spottyphasia? Sure, why not? Oh, nope, apparently it has to be SPN1. Alright, Supernatural 01. Got it. Has finally spawned and is ready to convert humans into supernatural creatures. We have to start in the United States. Feel free to experiment with everything. There are currently 2 paths you can take. More may be added later. So is the goal to infect the world or to kill the world? We'll find out. So, transmission. We have, water, air, feces. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups all of a sudden. Holy crap. The virus slips into the digestive system, causing spread via cleaning up crap. Cleaning up the crap? What, are people not using toilets anymore? You barbarians. Animalia supernaturalcus. Supernaturalcus. Allows animals to become carriers of your virus. Alright, awesome. Symptoms. Headache. Shakes. Hormonal changes. Dehydration, biological makeup, it uses up the fluids in the host, causing them to become thirsty. Rash, itchy sensation, mild severity. Very mild. Holy crap, you say mild and I can barely see the sliver. Mania, due to chemical imbalances in the brain, your patients begin to have shifts in personality. Nausea, patients get a queasy feeling in their stomachs that won't go away, no matter how many tums they take. Tum, 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 tum. We have toaster oven. Your virus can survive in hot climates. So not just heat resistance, it's a toaster oven. And an ice cream truck. Oh my gosh, we're spraying the little children. I always knew those ice cream trucks were trouble. Genetic stitching. So, increasing infectivity, making it harder to cure. I was about to say, don't just take the things that already exist and rename them, but that actually does something different, so I guess my criticism is invalid. Alright, transmission. I guess we will start with the feces and the Animalia supernaturalcus. Canines. The entire Canius class becomes carriers of your virus, allowing for creation of werewolves, because it's that simple, and bats. Note, you don't control them. Okay, so letting you know this is not the Shadow Plague. You don't get a vampire you can control and send them all over the place. Thank you for the clarification. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I can understand how some other people might. Alright, we'll go for some air transmission. You never know if we get on a plane out of the United States. I'm a little concerned that some of these are not very infective, so if anything, I mean, we'll find out, but it's entirely possible that these are going to be a little bit too weak to have much of an effect, but we'll find out. I'm going to reserve criticism and see how balanced it is as we play it. Valve time slower than thought. We've seen that a million freaking times. We'll go for some water transmission. I'm not going to go for werewolves or vampires too early on right now. Well, actually, let's see. That's a pretty reasonable amount of infectivity and stuff, I guess. We also have Ectoslime. There we go. The virus begins producing ectoplasm as a waste product that can turn some humans into ghosts. Alright, yeah, so what was I saying? I lost it. It's fine. Nausea's ours now. We'll go, yeah, I was saying we're trying to go for some basic infectivity before I worry about some of this other stuff. Let's just make sure I have some of the basics going. Try to get out of the United States, because we did have to start in a wealthy country, which usually means a slower scenario. Now, I'm kind of curious why start in the United States. I mean, it doesn't sound like something that has to exclusively start in American pop culture, so... I mean, Japan would love to have the viruses, the werewolves and the vampires, right? Probably. What's this? Paraparticle. Your virus can live on any surface and withstand common household cleaners. So it's a paranormal particle? Got it. Or something, I don't know. Let's go for the ectoplasm. That's actually a pretty reasonable amount of infectivity to start us off. Festival of Love in Egypt, but we have nausea already, so that's not going to work out very well for them. We have vomiting. That's pretty darn infective. A surprising amount of lethality considering it's only vomiting. Phasing. The patients that become ghosts struggle to keep their pants on and fall through things. Increasing severity. But not infectivity, so I don't care about it right now. None of these offer infectivity to start us off. What's this? Supernatural awareness. Civilians discover supernatural entities. Minor increase in severity. That's not minor. That's a pretty substantial one compared to everything else you've done so far. Let's go for genetic stitching, making it harder to cure, get a little bit more infectivity, but I'm not sure it's going to matter at this point. No, we just need more transmission. Mania symptom. Okay, so we just got some... what? Just shifts in personality and stuff. I'm looking for more infectivity, but so far it's been pretty weak. We kind of have to go for things like canines and bats and stuff. Yeah, so far I'm going to go out on a limb and say... I've said it again today. We're going to need a little bit more infectivity. I'll rebalance that a little bit. Starting off in the USA means you have a slower disease to begin with, so it would be a little bit helpful. Just sort of first impressions of the scenario if you have a little bit more infectivity options. Let's go for... I'm going to go for the vampires, and we'll save up for the canines next. Now, the good news... Well, no, I was going to say we have a lot of extra severity, so we should be getting a lot of DNA from red bubbles, but no. Honestly, it's another one of those situations where I think that the author, intending well, but I think that the author is being a little bit timid with the stat changes, trying not to give too much because you don't want it to be too easy, which I completely understand. However, when it comes, you need to be willing to take the plunge at some point. Some of these symptoms need to be better than others. Some of them do need to give a pretty reasonable amount of infectivity, or at the very least, giving them modifiers such as urban transmission, wealthy transmission, cold transmission, stuff like that. Extra bonuses. At least lets you pick and choose to become more effective without giving you a flat infectivity buff. You know what I mean? Vampires. That's a little bit lethal with fangs and stuff. Lethality. Phasing. Yeah, it's just not a lot as far as transmission options. We've kind of tapped ourselves out there. Eek. Alright. Perspiration. Sure, that sounds okay. I guess we'll go for headache. Migraine. A little bit more severity. Also slowing future research speed. Could be... sort of useful. I'm not looking to get more lethality right now. I just want infectivity, but we're not really getting it. Genetic stitching, more severity, decreases research speed. I think we have to go for things like ice cream truck and stuff and try to get some resistances, because that's not quite an infectivity boost, but it's the closest I think we're going to get. Italy's shutting down their airports already. It's going to be very difficult to get into the islands the way this is currently set up. So just keep going for those resistances. We have Climate Crapper. Your virus is unaffected by the supposed super weird slashies climate change. Okay. Shake's symptom mutated. The good news is we are actually getting a surprising amount of DNA as we infect these places, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we just hit India and China and got some massive populations done. We're going to go for supernatural awareness. That leads to supernatural hate-dom. People begin to grow cautious of supernatural entities. Increase the speed of research while increasing severity and lethality. Not by a lot, though. And supernatural fandom. They love the idea. I'm imagining these are the two routes that we were talking about, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that and start working down fan art and stuff like that. And then supernatural love. Automatic win if everyone becomes infected. Okay, so we found our victory condition here. They're not working on the cure too quickly, which is okay. And it looks like, despite the fact that we had really low infectivity, we're going to infect everyone pretty easily here. So, okay, I guess my criticisms about not enough infectivity are unwarranted because I'm guessing there were some modifiers to the countries to actually make everyone more infected anyway. So, even though it looks like there's not enough infectivity, it turns out it is enough. It may be a little anxious, but it seems we're going to be okay. Let's go for, I don't know, vomiting or something, and then atomic runs. The patient has to constantly take a dump. Oh, that poor person. What else is not infected? There are no healthy people in the world, so we should win right now, yes? There's tremors. Yeah, we should win right about now. We'll go for phasing as well for the heck of it. We didn't actually... Here's the thing, though. We didn't actually evolve very many superpowers. We had werewolves and vampires. Are we not winning? Wait a minute. Hey now, wait a minute. You said we win. Automatic win if everyone becomes infected. Bliss coexistence. I guess we could try for that, but how am I going to get more DNA? Dehydration symptom mutated, okay. Yeah, so I was promised that we would get a win if everyone became infected, and that didn't happen. So that's something worth checking. Let's go ahead and grab the automatic win. There we go. Peaceful coexistence with a weird, spiky tree. Thanks to the right mutations, people have begun to grow closer to one another and gain demure in genuine sympathy and understanding. With hatred a thing of the past, the future begins to look bright for all. Humans, werewolves, ghosts, and vampires. Together. It's a utopian vision right there. So yeah, So that's sort of the irony, though. You're creating a whole thing that's about supernatural stuff, and yes, we have vampires and werewolves, although they don't do much unless you go for phasing, fangs, and stuff, and I don't even see any options for the werewolves. But mostly you're just making people sick. They're dehydrating, they're tremors, seizures, migraine. I don't see how any of this stuff really makes people more willing to coexist, so it seems a little weird. It's not wrong to have these. I'm just kind of curious how this all fits with the theme. You know, but at the same time, you don't want to become like a ripoff of the, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a Halloween virus scenario we did a while ago, where all you do is evolve vampires, then have a whole vampire tree, and then a werewolf tree, and just do only symptoms related to that. You don't want to be a copy of them, I get that. I'm just kind of curious how this all fits, because what we've done now is we've beaten the scenario, and the werewolves and vampires exist, ghosts exist, but they don't really do anything. So I'm not too sure how that all works. But either way, %D has united the world and stopped all hatred. 2 stars because it took a little bit longer. Yeah, okay. So my criticisms about the infectivity aren't necessarily warranted. I'm curious why modify all the countries with different modifiers to make them easier to infect, rather than just stick with the base infectivity mechanic of the game. I'm not too sure. I feel like that would be harder. But whatever, if the author wants to do that, they can certainly do that. That's no big deal to me. Yeah, I think it could be a good start to a scenario. I'm a little concerned that the theme is deviating a little bit, but we infected pretty well, and the cure wasn't too fast. Maybe the cure needs to be a little bit faster. I'm not sure yet. That's something you don't really want. You don't want to make it harder to beat until you're pretty sure you've got the infectivity and severity spread right. So I don't know. I guess, yeah, my primary concern is more thematic than anything else, but I will say yes that I enjoyed and I'd recommend it. I would like people to take a look at it and see if they think it's any good. But yeah, otherwise, thank you for sending me that. I appreciate it. I hope it goes well for you. I hope you can make some good modifications and make it better. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment with your suggestions for next week's videos, and subscribe if you have not already. My name is Pravus, and I, as always, will see you guys next time.